Hunt Showdown is all about sound, tension and strategy. Every step you take, every bullet you fire, it all matters. And that's what makes it both brutal and rewarding. But the most important thing to understand as beginner is that every match teaches you something. Even the ones where you die in the first few minutes. Sometimes you die, sometimes you live to die another day. We've all been there, and trust me, it's going to happen again and again and probably again. You know the drill. Hunt give it, hunt take it. If you are new to Hunt, don't stress if things don't click right away. Truth is, this game has a steep learning curve. So, how do you start getting better? In this first part of my beginner guide, you will gradually learn about everything important in Hunt. For today, we'll focus mainly on the maps and everything related. We'll go over how the map works, the mechanics of clue, and how to track enemy teams before they track you. The goal of this video is to help you feel more comfortable, and if you are lucky, maybe even outplay enemy hunters. So, let's get started. The first thing you should do is, of course, play the tutorial. This built-in tutorial is a fairly new addition to the game, and it covers all the basics of Hunt's main game mode, Bounty Hunt. While some tips in this video will overlap, I'll try to stick to the essentials. But here's the one thing to keep in mind. Do not let the tutorial fool you. There are no real enemies in there, only AI, and you just can't compare to what you will face in a real match. Why? Because in Hunt Showdown, the real threat is always other players. So once you jump into your first game, you feel the difference right away. With that being said, don't be afraid to die. Every mistake teaches you something. Instead of stressing about losses, focus on learning on movement, listening for sound cues, and getting a feel for the rhythm of the match. Now let's talk about maps and how you can use them to your advantage. There are 4 maps in Hunt Showdown. Stillwater Bayou. This is the oldest one. It's a wet, swampy mess full of old shacks, wooden walkways and way too much water. It might feel open at first, but with all the trees and things creeping around, it's really easy to get caught off guard. Lawson Delta. It's kind of old farmland, filled with train tracks and Civil War ruins. Its open fields can make you an easy target, but there is plenty of cover in the fort, train station or in muddy trenches. The Salle. This one's mining town, surrounded by forests, with lots of rooftops and wide streets where fights can happen from pretty much any direction. If you are caught outside, good luck. Your best bet is to find cover inside the building. Mammon's Gulch. This is the newest map, a deep rocky canyon town built around massive mines right in the middle. Fights happen up on cliffs, rooftops and down into dark caves where it's easy to lose track of what or who is watching you. Each map in Hunt is 1000 by 1000 meters. When you open the map and see the grid lines, each square is exactly 100 meters across. It's 10 by 10 grid. Enemy teams spawn randomly along the edge of the map. Pretty much every road or path leading from the border is a possible spawn point. Sometimes, another team might be right next to you at the start. Spawn fights aren't as common as they used to be, but they still can happen. If you want to study the maps outside the game, there is a great online tool where you can see all the compounds, spawn points, boss lairs, and even hunting towers. Sadly, there is nothing like that for Mammon's Gulch yet, but for the older maps, it's super useful. I will leave a link to it in the video description. Now, let's talk about clues and how they work. Clues help you narrow down the boss location. There are 3 types of clues. Standard clues. These are the blue glowing rifts found inside compounds. Collect 3 of them to reveal the boss lair of the Butcher, Spider, Assassin or Scrapbeak. There are also Rojo traces. These look like dark pools, usually near the water. They don't reveal a fixed spot, but instead point in the direction of where Rojo is. If you follow them carefully, you can sometimes find her with just 1. 2 clues far apart will almost always show you exactly where she is. Hellborn is only found in the Mammon's Coach map, and this one works differently. You have to use Darksight and listen for his roars. Sadly, there is no way to tell how far he is, just the general direction. I really hope Crytek tweaks this, so the sound changes with distance. When you use Darksight, clues glow with soft blue light and little white sparks, so they are easier to spot from a distance. But as you get closer, pay attention to their color. If the clue is blue and gently sparkling, it means no enemy hunters are nearby. If it turns red and sounds different, be careful. Hunters are within 30 meters. They might be leaving or just waiting to ambush you. Just so you know, clues only react like this until the boss is banished, or until you take them. After that, they stop glowing red for you, and they won't make any warning sound either. But here's the catch. Other players can still see and hear the red clue warning if they haven't touched it yet. So even though it's silent on your end, it might still give away your position to someone else. When you are near a boss lair, use Darksight to check if anyone's close. If it's clear, you will hear calm whispers and see the boss icon pulse white. If enemies are nearby, it flashes red and faster, and the whispers get louder. Every clue you pick up darkens part of the map, showing you where the boss is not. After grabbing 3 clues, the exact position of lair is revealed. But honestly, you don't always need all 3. Sometimes just looking at the grayed out sections is enough to make a good guess. And in some cases, you can skip clues altogether. Some games have just 1 boss, others have 2. On a single boss map, everyone fights over the same lair, which means more team pushing toward one's location. I find these matches a bit easier to read since most players are headed in the same direction. But double boss maps have 2 different bosses, split by a thin red line on the map. Players often go for whichever boss is closer, but they might switch midway depending on spawn points or other fights. These matches feel more chaotic with lots of movement and less predictable action. When you pick up a bounty token, everyone on the map gets notified. Your name and position will show up on the map and as a lighting icon that moves with you. But that's not all. If you are carrying a bounty, other players can see you also into Darksight. So before grabbing it, think it through. You are basically trading your location for a short burst of boosted Darksight. In some situations, it's smart to grab a bounty right away. But other times, it might be better to leave it, either to use it as a bait, or wait until the coast is clear, or wait until there is fewer enemy around. Also, if there are dead enemy hunters nearby, and you already have a bounty, it's usually worth waiting before looting. Because looting a hunter gives you 1 second of a Darksight back. Each match has 3 random extraction points. You can leave the map at any time, as long as you make it there safely. But you're probably not the only one heading that way. If an enemy shows up at the same extraction point, it will trigger loud sounds based on the type of extraction. For example, steamboats will fire up their engine and blast the horn, while carriages will make horses whiny and panic. There are a few other subtle details about extractions, but to keep it simple, just know that the extraction process takes always 30 seconds in total. If you are low on ammo, hurt, or just want to save your hunter, you can extract early. Just make sure the extraction area is safe first. Once all bounty has left the map, everyone else only have 5 minutes to extract. If you know what to look for, you can often figure it out, where hunters have been and where they are headed next. There are a few different ways to track them or spot signs of activity. If you find a clue that's already dark and hollow in the center, it means someone got there before you. Or look for small details. For example, if you see a lamp lying on its side, someone probably killed a grunt nearby. Normally, lamps are always placed neatly in boxes, shelves, or on some higher ground. But they are never just tipped over. Use dark sight. If you have got witness rate, you will see glowing spots where hunters or monsters died. These can mark past fights. While in the dark side, you can also use these spots to heal yourself. If a dog or chicken cage is empty, but still painted red, it means someone passed through. If it's totally grey and empty, that means there were no animals there to begin with. Sound traps like crows, ducks or horses can tell you a lot. And pay attention to where the birds fly. That's the direction someone came from. But be careful. Some players will trigger traps from the side to mess with you. If you hear distant gunfire, agitated chickens or flocks of birds, it probably means someone's moving through that area. In general, staying quiet is good, but moving fast is often better. At the start of the match, I'll try to avoid triggering sound traps like crows or horses, but I'm never crouch walking everywhere. Usually I sprint toward the first clue, slow down near the first compound, and then stay alert for the movement. Once you have a sense of where teams are, you can start predicting where they are going to be next. Most players follow the same basic path, from spawn to clue to boss. But not everyone sticks to that. Some avoid fights, some go clue to clue, and others, like me, will drop their plan entirely in the moment they hear any nearby gunfire and start pushing toward it. So, how do you use this? If you spawn near a corner of the map, be extra careful, as 2 teams nearby might be going for the same clue as you. If you see crows flying away from the compound, don't assume it's empty. Some players grab a clue and leave fast, but others stay behind, waiting for you to walk in. Once the boss gets banished, check your map. Teams that were still hunting clues will likely start heading towards the bounty. Tracking enemy hunters is part logic, part map knowledge and part just gut feeling. The more you play, the better you will get at reading the flow of the match. The main objective in Hunt Showdown is simple. Find and banish the boss, grab the bounty and extract. But once you play long enough, you will realize that real reward isn't just bounty, but it's the fights and the tension between players. Some players go full aggression, others play sneaky and set traps. And yeah, there are always the rats, waiting for fights to end so they can loot the leftovers. In the end, every strategy is valid, as long as you are having fun and playing fair. But not every match has to be brawl. Sometimes it's smarter to avoid fights. Maybe your loadout isn't great for the situation, or you are low on ammo. At any rate, picking your battles is key. But the opposite is true too. If you can predict where fights are going to happen, you can set up an ambush ahead of time. If you are not looking to fight, you can also guess which extraction point bounty carriers might use, and either steer clear or just wait for them there. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, your goal in Hunt is whatever you want it to be. Maybe you are here for high-stakes fights. Maybe you're just trying to survive, or you're just having a good time with friends. No matter how you play, as I said before, as long as you are playing fair and enjoying yourself, you are doing it right. If you are an absolute beginner, like I said before, definitely play the in-game tutorial first. We don't have trials anymore, which I still think was the best way to learn how to deal with AI and explore the maps, but we are left with other options now. You can try Soul Survivor, the faster-paced solo mode where you will face multiple players. It's also great for practicing fights without worrying about losing your hunter. You can jump into Bounty Clash with a free hunter. It lets you practice without risking any of your gear or money, which makes it great for getting used to Bounty Hunt with less pressure. Also, don't sleep on Shooting Range. It's perfect for testing our weapons and tools. You can go in solo or with friends, and nothing you do there affects your MMR or existing hunters. If you prefer stealthier playstyle and want to stay alive longer, just try to use cheap silence weapons. They are less likely to give away your position. And if you can, pick up Silent Kill trait. It lowers the sound of melee attacks. Throwing knives are also worth learning. They are great for silently dealing with AI, and with a bit of luck, even enemy hunters, if they are close enough. Try not to trigger sound traps, but if you do, just laugh it off and move on. It happens. But last but not least, as I said before, do not crouch walk everywhere. It's usually better to move fast than to move quiet. Crouch walking isn't actually that silent anyway, and even if you crouch, just keep moving or be sure you are somewhere in cover. In general, don't make yourself an easy target. Hunt is one of those games where knowledge and experience matters just as much as aim. And once you get into the rhythm of it, there is really nothing else like it. Learning how to track enemies by reading the map, using sounds, and spotting small environmental clues. That all can give you a huge edge. So, instead of blaming teammates or your gaming chair, try to learn from each death. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do better next time? Don't get discouraged when you die, because you will die a lot, and it's totally fine. Hunt is kind of like life itself. You know you can't be winning all the time, and you know you're probably not getting out alive. So why not enjoy the process? That's it for the part 1 of this beginner guide to Hunt Showdown. I really hope it gave you something useful. If you liked it, please hit that like button so I know it's worth doing a part 2. And also let me know in comments what you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.